Hello, welcome to the Camlog surgical tutorial. I tell you, it's all about suturing. A good suture is the starting point of a good healing. And although everyone knows how to make a knot, I'd like to show you with this tutorial how to make microsurgical knots. Talking about suturing means talking about step of the bite. What's the step of the bite? We have to respect the thickness of the flap. If a flap has a thickness like you may see here, the puncture point of your needle has to be exactly the same distance like the thickness of your flap. In this case, the puncture line would start here. Here we have a thinner flap, so you would puncture here. Which means if you suture a thicker and a thinner one, you start going in here, perpendicular through the flap, and you come out here. If you don't respect the step of the bite, sometimes during knotting, your tissue moves asymmetrical. And in the worst case, if it's too low, if you would go in like this, and you would start to knot, it would wrap out. So when you suture tissue, have respect to the step of the bite. Now here you see the flap, and here is the fixed part of the skinny material. We start to suture from free to fixed. I just mentioned that the thickness of the flap should be the distance of the puncture line of the suture material. We call it step of the bite. And now we have the knotting technique. Here you see this is the short end of the thread. This is the long end of the thread. So I use the closed needle holder in the middle, parallel to the cutting line. I close it, and now from above I turn around 2 times. 1, 2. Now I fix the short end, and now I change the direction of the ends. I put the short one down and the long one upward. You see that the knot is running nicely and is lying flat on the surface. Again, from above 2 times around, fetching the short end and changing the directions. In microsurgery, you don't close the knot completely. Once more. Respecting the step of the bite. The long end is here, the short end of the thread is here. Closed needle holder, and from above 2 times around, fetching the short end and pulling it down and the long end up. Again, now vice versa. From above 2 times around, and changing the directions. Do not completely close the knot. Even if it looks loose, it will stay closed. That's the microsurgical knotting technique. I also can show it with a much thinner suturing material. Respecting the step of the bite. Here is the short end, this is the long one, the closed needle holder, 2 times around from above, changing direction. Once more, 2 times around from above, changing direction. Don't close completely. And once more, try to perforate the tissue mainly vertical to the surface. Closed needle holder in the middle. 2 times from above, change direction. 2 times from above, change direction. And what you also can see is the thinner the suturing material, the more closer the single knots or single sutures should be together, comparing to the other one. So, with this knotting technique and suturing technique, you might end up with very nice microsurgical stitches. And I tell you, it not only looks nice, it also heals much better, and you don't leave the knots in your arms and elbows by turning around your instruments. Enjoy suturing and knotting.